And on your setup, obviously going into a closed environment, you don't have access to studios or other musicians. How have you found setting up your own like environment and way to produce your own music?
Well, I suppose I have a bit of experience of using like computer software. Like I use software called Cubase, which is just like a standard operating system for recordings, recording software. But yeah, I ended up getting a good set of mixing monitors, and I have my program, and I have a couple of mics and guitars set up in this room where I am, and I just leave them as is. There's just like guitars and keyboard and stuff thrown there, and so it's actually quite an enjoyable setup, you know. And I can kind of come up here, get away from everyone, and just kind of work on, yeah. If I have an idea, it's nice. Because I can just lay down like initial just vocal acoustic track, and then I can kind of add stuff to it, like so. And I've been used to using that program anyway for a couple of years. Like I did that in college and stuff like that as well. So and like the EP process that I'm doing at the minute, like I'm recording all the files besides the drums, but besides the drums, they're sent to me over from a friend of mine who plays drums, but he's in France. But he sends them to me. But all the other files then are recorded by myself, and then them files are all individually sent to a studio. A guy called Brian Casey, and he works down in Clonakilty. They have a studio there, Wavefield Recordings, which he's brilliant, and they're a fantastic studio for anyone looking to record. They're wonderful. But I just send him the files, and he just does the mixing and all that, and he just shoots back a file. I go, is this okay? And we might kind of talk about different things, and then yeah, we kind of sign off on it. So it's actually quite a handy process. But obviously, I'd rather like go to the studio, but it still means that I can get my work kind of recorded to like a professional standard, which is the main thing. And you know, so yeah, working on that, and with a video as well, hopefully coming out on one of the tracks. So I'll release a single first with a video.
And we were talking earlier before we started recording that not only can you like play like acoustic, but also like electric, and how different elements or different instruments can add different ways of looking at a tracks, and add other elements to tracks that other folk musicians would just wouldn't be able to have the knowledge to do.
Well, I suppose depending, like, because I started my music career, but I went to university playing electric, and like I studied 5 years in university, got my degree and everything in music and all that through electric guitar. And I was like, I used to play like blues rock, kind of like, you know, like Gary Moore and all that kind of stuff, and like old school stuff. But I don't know, yeah, it just kind of, you know, it doesn't really do it for me. I don't really listen to that stuff, like, but I appreciate like that, you know, it's still great in its own way, you know. But I suppose I just kind of gravitated towards the folk music. I think my voice as well, it's kind of more like, you know, it just works. It works for like folk, you know. It's probably the only style I can kind of get away with, because you know, it's a bit rough. It's a bit rough and ready, like my voice. But yeah, with like the electric, so I have like the background of being able to play. So I can do those kind of bits where you might layer stuff on top of like your acoustic track, just to give it a bit of, you know, atmosphere, or just a bit of texture on top of that track. So yeah, I'm glad to be able to do that. Like, so it's just, my background's weird. It's strange. Usually people just like their music, and then they kind of just they are that, you know, that kind of person, you know.
But that just shows like process and like evolution, to like finding your own sound, like might just take you through different genres until you settle on, okay, this is how I actually like best suited to produce my own sound. And obviously, going to acoustic was like how you've gone to know, and like it could change in the future, but like you just don't know that. But like obviously you didn't know that when you were a blues musician.
Well, that's it. And like the thing is as well, like even when I used to play acoustic, like for years I didn't even play acoustic, but like then when I kind of got into it, I enjoy using kind of open tunings and stuff like that. And I know that's quite a folky thing anyway, but you know, stuff like open D and Dadgad and all that stuff. And I got into using quite a lot of different tunings, but so it's a bit of a nightmare playing live when you're like tuning in between. But you know, just like even when I write, like I don't usually write in like standard, which is like a standard setup on a guitar tuning. So I rather just kind of mess around with different colors that way. Because you get a lot more, it's called like extensions on the chords. So like you'd have a lot more like color and kind of flavor as opposed to just like a standard, you know, major or minor chord or whatever, if that makes sense.
And you're not going to surprise whoever tunes in on the weekend with a with a blues set.
No. It's funny because I actually have a blues band called Preach and Blues. We used to play at the Limerick Fest every year for I think 3 or 4 years in a row. What was the festival called again? The River Fest.
Yeah.
So we played in there 3 or 4 years, but yeah, like I used to do all like Robert Johnson songs and Elmore James and all that kind of stuff, Rory Gallagher, all that stuff. But I yeah, like it's grand, it's great fun to do that, like to still be able to do that kind of stuff, you know, like slide guitar and all that stuff. But I'd still do it like for the crack, but like it's not something that I'd pursue. Like what I really want to pursue is my own folk music and like but not just on my own. I'd love to have like a band and you know get some nice arrangements, like the way I'm doing it on the EP, and to be able to do like a live set like that. So that's what I will you know pursue like in the coming years and stuff. So. And I like the idea of you know the original thing. It's like you just don't know what the hell's going to happen, you know, or like you know what kind of stuff you're going to write. So it's interesting, you know.
And that's all part of the joy.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, there's no like, you know, I think I'm quite laid back as far as having like too much like expectations on where it's going to go. I just enjoy the process, and you know, I've got a nice quiet life. You know, I do a bit of teaching, and you know, so it's handy. I'm not too under pressure. You know, so again, I think it's me getting older, just kind of getting a bit more laid back or cranky, whichever way people perceive the way I am. You know.
And they can tune into your crankiness this Saturday when you're playing in the Paul in the Bedford Townhouse. We'll provide a link. It's on their Instagram page. The gig will be live on their Instagram page, and also a link will be put under for the Limerick Suicide Watch that you wanted to also link. Paul, this has been. I've had a really nice time talking to you. And
thanks for having me, Sean. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Yeah, hope you all tune in on Saturday. And yeah, we'll see you then.
Yeah, this has been me and Paul on the Limerick Post Show. Good afternoon, or good afternoon, or good morning, whenever you're watching this.